Hello and welcome to another edition of CBO Impacts. Compliment of the season. We'll be wrapping up this year with this edition. Do you have a personal brand? We'll be making this edition short so you can focus on your holidays. Let's go. In the course of our conversation in the last edition of CBO Impacts, where we discussed about improving your writing, I mentioned about building your personal brand. And the question was, do you have a personal brand? Now, I want you to take a moment and think about yourself, all your uniqueness, your fingerprints, your DNA, and a whole lot. Everyone is unique. Everyone is different. And in that uniqueness, in that difference, comes differentiation. Just by nature, you have an identity unique to you. And what is branding? Branding is about having a mark, a symbol, or whatever unique identifier to a business or to a person. So let me answer your question. Yes, you do have a personal brand. However, what would distinguish you and from someone who we can term a celebrity, an influencer, a brand that is known is your harnessing of your difference. Do you know that there are people whose brands are just their hands? Yes. Have you heard of hand models, face models, voice over artists? Yeah, and many more segments of personal brands that people have created for themselves using their uniqueness, using what they can offer. Now, the key is identify that you are different. Identify that you are unique. When you understand that, when you believe that, then you've taken an important and crucial step to harnessing your uniqueness to convert it into a personal brand. Truth is, there is no much difference between you and somebody else. You could make reference to pedigree, financial background of their family, educational exposure based on the opportunities they have that you don't have. However, have you thought of others who, in spite of whatever challenge they had, whatever setback they had, they still believed that they were different and insisted to bring forth that difference to actually create a brand for themselves to be reckoned with? Hence, in spite and despite of whatever your environment is telling you, whatever your society tells you, it doesn't negate the fact that you have a brand to harness and to benefit the world with. So what's the next step after identifying and believing that you are different and you have something unique to offer? The next step, I call it exploitation. Do you know that gold in the ground doesn't really serve anybody? Diamond in the ground, crude oil in the ground doesn't serve anybody. We are excited that we have such prospects. Oh, I discovered oil in my field. However, the gold mine in your land, the crude oil in your land does not automatically convert value to you, except you exploit it. And that's where we got the word exploitation. And exploitation has a force to it. Digging deep, tapping, exploring, putting effort to discover, to tap. That is the next thing you would have to do. You would have to dig deep. You have to expose yourself to learning. I would always say comprehensive input. There's a power to exposing yourself to information that will build you. Now, when you expose yourself to information that will build you in the line that you have discovered your uniqueness and your difference, you realize that It helps you to see yourself in the way you have not actually seen that gifting or whatever special trait about you. Hence, don't take for granted applying yourself to work, applying yourself to doing, to trying. And don't be ashamed of trying. It is those who don't put effort that should be ashamed. I believe that when the first explorers were digging into a land to find crude oil or whatever natural resources, they looked like idiots. They looked like foolish people because at that time, maybe it was strange to people. However, who had the last laugh? Them. They became trailblazers and forces and names to be reckoned with. Hence, the same for you. Forget about what anybody's saying. They can't live their lives and live your life as well. Go for your passion. If it's singing, if it's drawing, if it's acting, if it's spoken word, if it's face modeling, if it's being a voiceover artist, you cannot be until you do. Do you understand? You would have to act. Then in acting, you would even understand the uniqueness of you even in that field. How come in the field of medicine, we have different angles of medicine, different areas of specialization? Is it not the same human body? However, as time went on, they understood that the human body is too complex for one person to deal with. Let us have specializations so we can better understand and improve our efficiency in solving human biology problems. Hence, even in your exploiting your skills, your traits, your uniqueness, you could find yourself having to create a niche separate and different from what is existing. And that is what is called positioning, being distinct, unique, and marketing that uniqueness even in a saturated market. Okay, we've looked at identifying and believing that you're different, and we have gone further to look at exploiting your difference. Then the next I would like you to take seriously is documenting your difference. Now, documenting here doesn't just fit into the aspect of writing. If you are a writer, you love to write, or you're a singer just writing songs and all that. Documenting, I mean, is make an imprint. And this depends on what uniqueness that you are working on to build as a personal brand, that which you would be identified with. Make an imprint and make it public. This is the part that gets a bit dicey, and a lot of people would have second thoughts, would be reluctant because they are afraid of being laughed at, being criticized, being measured with others. However, if you check those who are in stellar positions, who have built personal brands that are well known, they didn't start that way, right? They started with what they had, then pushed. And someone may have seen the drive and seen their uniqueness and helped them, or they just pushed their way through and broke through. Just like the people who were digging the ground to get crude oil or gold. As they dug, it felt as though they were wasting their time. However, they dug and dug until they broke through. So the place of pushing, the place of marketing what you have, even if you're not there yet, speak and write what you want to be. For instance, for myself, I am multi-talented. I have various ways of expressing my uniqueness, and they are important to me. And one thing I have discovered in all of this is I like to solve problems. If you ask me my life in one word, or say two words, it will be problem solver. Everything I have created has been around solving a problem. Whether it's for myself or for people around me, my passion to continue anything is usually driven from a place of problem solving, building for the future, building for the next generation, inspiring people. Most times I could decide personally not to venture into something. However, the drive I get to go ahead is to inspire somebody else who actually has something higher to offer than what I am doing. So everything about me is problem solving, even when I don't know that that is what I am doing. Okay, so understanding who you are, identifying and believing, exploiting, then documenting, making an imprint, putting it out there. Sell yourself, market yourself. Remove that mentality of so they will not say, who cares? Who cares? Do you understand? They will not live their lives and live your life. And if their life is the job of being critics, then let them live the life of critics, right? Why you live the life of the person who is so valuable to be criticized? Do you understand right now? So make your imprint, push, enjoy what you do, like yourself, like that thing, like whatever it is. Put it out for yourself. When you put out, when you document, when you make the imprint, whether it's music or writing or the picture, and you put the write up to it, spoken word, whatever it is, you put it out there, you put words that fit where you're going, and keep doing it. First of all, you are the beneficiary of your art. I call all this art. You are the first beneficiary of your art. When I see what I write or say or speak, I usually get awed at what intelligence, what inspiration and motivation could drive this person to produce such a stellar write-up or document or imprint or whatever it is. I value myself and everything that comes out of me. I want you to do the same. Have that kind of mindset. Do you know the kind of world we would have when we have a lot of people who are this way? We will have a world where people will be busting at seams, being all that they have been designed to be. I promised not to take so much time because of your holiday, and I think I have done so. Please forgive us. Okay, I'll be stopping here, and I'm hoping to create another edition around this conversation, or maybe we'll go for another conversation. All right, thank you for sticking through to this edition of CBO Impacts. And remember, CBO Creative Planet is your go-to creative agency for your video editing and creation, your graphics designing, your book publishing, idea development and generation. We are all about building your brand, taking you from where you are to where you want to be. We are passionate about you and your business and your personal brand. And that is why we are always excited to go the extra mile to ensure that our clients are satisfied and pleased. Okay, till next time, bye for now.